good news. We have a new recording studio, so now we can record our videos in this room that my husband was actually, he vacated and moved his office downstairs. So now we have a room for our own recordings when we're recording here at home. So you'll get to see all of the extra Disney paraphernalia, collectibles, etc. that I have around here, and I hope I have enough shelves. We'll see. But when we were doing the Magic Key unboxing, I talked about my Disney map, and this is it. I'm going to give you a close-up of the Disney map from 1972. That was what the date that we figured that it was purchased, was 1972. Little backstory on it. This is not actually mine. This was actually my in-laws. And when my husband's family went to Disneyland, I think their one and only time, when they were kids. And my mother-in-law was cleaning out closets and so forth. And she comes out with this folded up map. And she says, I found this. Is this worth saving or should I throw it away? And I fell out of the chair because it was, don't throw that away. That's too much great Disney history. And my brother-in-law, he has two little kids. He goes, oh yeah, they would love that. They love maps. They love looking at them. They would love to draw on them. Well, I climbed back in the chair so that I could fall out of the chair again and just about died. And my mother-in-law gave it to my brother-in-law. And that night we went home and I cried to my husband. I said, Disney is my place, my thing, my jam. And they're gonna ruin it, and it's already falling apart in places because it's been folded and unfolded so many times. So he called up his brother and said, Mom offered it to her first, and this is really, really important to her. And he was really sweet. He goes, oh, I totally get it. Yes, the map is hers. So we have it mounted on a board and mounted under plexi to keep it protected. But we are going to take it off, or take the plexi off and lay it down so that I can show it to you, show you some of the details, because with the lighting, it does put a lot of glare. And so we'll be able to see Disneyland as it was in 1972. All right, here we go with our tour. This is one of the ways to date the maps, is the images change for different years. And well, you're gonna have to bear with me because I am hand holding this camera, trying to look at the map and trying to point at it. That pun was for you, Chris Provost, because I wanted you to know that moms can do dad jokes too. So bear with me to the bare end. All right, over here it tells where the copyright date, and it's 1968 and 1972. And I know my in-laws went in 1972, but the bears were not on the 1968 map. I'm not sure why they have both years on there, but we know that that was a 1972 map because of that. Got a little spot here to head to the tram loading zone. This is Melissa's favorite ride, wink, wink. She's not a big fan of the trams, so I had to throw that at her. And outside the park, they actually have a pet motel. This actually still exists. This is for to leave your dog for the day. Right now it's temporarily closed, and it was sponsored by Calcan. And I read that, and I read it a couple of times and realized Calcan was a dog food, and that doesn't exist anymore. So I thought that was kind of funny and a little bit of a blast for the past. So they have the strollers and wheelchair rentals and guest relations. But here's your entrance. So you had ticket booths where you could buy your ticket packs of the A, B, C, D, E tickets. E tickets being the best tickets to use for the day. You could buy tickets in various other places in the park, but you would just head your way through the gate turnstiles and continue on your day and use up your tickets, go buy more. We always ended up using up all of the e-tickets, and we always ended up coming home with some of the A tickets. So this is kind of a fun little fact for my family. We always used to go through this tunnel as an entrance, this tunnel as an exit. Not sure why that became a thing, but it did. That there's the plaque over here that they have above that entrance. Maybe that was why. But that was what we ended up doing, always going that way. And then you have the train going up and over. And this is kind of a fun fact, is this is the official flag of Disneyland. Just an orange background with Mickey Mouse. Main Street is still pretty much the same. The shops have changed. The vehicles are still the same. Haven't seen a penny farthing going around Main Street, so kind of think that's an extinct show there. You had Bank of America, the Walt Disney Story, and the Mad Hatter shop. This is now Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. I really wish this would come back as the Walt Disney Story. I would really love to see that. Walt's apartment. Walt had an apartment built on Main Street so he could kind of keep an eye on things. Up here in this window is where the lamp is that we always end our video with. And it's interesting stories. Some ingenuitive youths realized that they could shimmy up the fire pole and found themselves in Walt Disney's apartment, to their surprise. Well, that got taken care of really quickly, so I'm not sure if the pole is still there, but you cannot go past that floor right there. So that's still Walt Disney's apartment. They do have a tour walking in Walt's footsteps where they will end and let you see his apartment. That tour actually is not running right now. I have no information as far as when it's coming back. The Emporium, still there. Magic Shop, still there, where Steve Martin got his start in Disneyland, working at the Magic Shop. We've got No Tobacco Shop there. Main Street Cinema, that's still there. Rings and Things Shop, gone. Market House, that got turned into Starbucks. And Hallmark Communication Center, not sure what you did in there. And the GAF Exhibit and Camera Shop turned to Kodak and then moved to the end of Main Street, where it replaced the Insurance of North America, because Disneyland is a place that when you are there, you want to buy insurance. Not sure what that was about. They were just putting everything in Main Street. Coca-Cola Refreshment Corner is still there. Candy Palace, Penny Arcade. Ice Cream's been renamed the Gibson Girl. And the Plaza Pavilion is now the Jolly Holiday Bakery. Plaza Inn is still there. And 1972, there is no Walt and Mickey statue in the hub. So this was just a center point of where you would go. So no hub, no Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney statue. Kind of makes me a little sad, but I like that they're there now. So we're going to go counterclockwise through the park. And so we have the Enchanted Tiki Room, obviously still there. The Tahitian and Terrace, they would have hula dancers and tropical shows there. Jungle Cruise still exists. A lot of these shops have been changed and refurbished. This shop actually now is the Bengal Barbecue. The Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. I kind of missed this one. I know it's Tarzan's Treehouse now, but this had the bedrooms from the movie that you could actually see. And that was kind of a cool thing for me as a kid, to see a movie and then see this kind of what the set looked like. Let's see, we moving on to Pirates of the Caribbean, and we have the big giant show building. Here's an interesting fact. You've got the train tracks here going right through the middle of the show building. One of the waterfall drops is to get you under the train tracks, and that's how they get you to the outer show building. Moving on to the Haunted Mansion. I'm as old as the Haunted Mansion, but not ready to be one of the 999 happy haunts, not quite yet. And then we have Bear Country, and Hungry Bear Restaurant still there. Bear Country Jamboree right over here. This is now the Winnie the Pooh ride. I used to love the Bear Country Jamboree. That one was really fun. But if you are riding the Winnie the Pooh ride and you go through the Heffalumps and Woozles room, as you finish that room, turn around, look up to this near the ceiling behind you, and you will see Buff, Max, and Melvin, the talking trophy heads that narrated some of the shows or some of the songs in Country Bear Jamboree. Now, I love Buff the best because his voice is Thurl Ravenscroft. And I don't know what it is. I just love that voice. He does the voice of one of the marble busts, the broken one that people sometimes think is Walt Disney. But he has that really deep voice. He sings the Grinch That Stole Christmas song that's from the animated 1970s show. And he was known in Hollywood as, quote, the lowest, because no one could get a voice deeper than him. Now, assuming that this is just because it's a souvenir map, the Tom Sawyers Island is not this thin, but they have the keel boats. And this is an extinct attraction as well. But you will see, if you're riding the train, you will see over here on this side of Tom Sawyer's Island, you will see grounded one of the keel boats. And you would just stand on this boat when they would take you around. But unless there's somebody out there that has purchased one to preserve it, I think that's the last one in existence. So over here is some of the main area, and this is the mine train through Nature's Wonderland. And this was a slow ride, but this is where Thunder Mountain has replaced. And this was actually kind of enjoyable. It was slow. It was interesting. There were geysers. There were rocks teetering, looking like they were going to fall on you. There was a bobcat that was like standing on top of a rock, looking like it was ready to pounce. So some fun things there. An interesting thing with this part of the park, you'll notice there is no exit. So if you wanted to get to Bear Country, there was only one way in and one way out. And right about here, there was a cave up high, and there was a bear that was always snoring. And I remember always wanting to stop and listen to the snoring bear for a while, but we were always in a hurry, had to get to the show for the Bear Country Jamboree. So, okay, moving on to Fantasyland. Obviously, you have the castle. Our castle doesn't look like that, so this kind of tells you this is a cartoon stylized drawing. Lots of shops were in the side of the wings of the castle. There is Snow White's grotto. Story about that. These are marble statues that were sent from Italy as a gift to Disneyland. When the Imagineers unpacked these, they found that Snow White was the exact same height as the dwarves. Now, this is not a mistake that Imagineers would make, but this is why they were Imagineers. They used forced perspective. Snow White is at the top and the dwarves are down low, so it looks like she's taller than the dwarves. So you head on in here, and the carousel is still here. Dumbo's over here, but it is now moved over here to replace Captain Hook's Tuna Boat Restaurant. Now, I don't know if I would, I'm not a fish person, so I don't think I would want to eat a tuna pie. So I think that's probably why that went out. You have the little tiny train and the Storybook Canal boats. You have Small World, it's still there. Over here, you have the motorboat cruise. Now this, like the Autopia, which this is a really crazy track, you could drive your own motorboat. And like Autopia, you would stay within the track, but you would drive through the water, and they actually crisscrossed a little bit. This water is still there. I don't know why they don't put something in there. I think that it would be really cool to have the boats back. Backing up slightly, this chalet here is where you would catch the Skyway gondolas to Tomorrowland. So you can barely see the lines of where the gondola would go, and it would go through the Matterhorn. And I remember when it would just go through the Matterhorn, it would end up over here in Tomorrowland. But I remember when they put in the space where the gondolas would go, they put the abominable snowman that he would growl at guests when they went through that. And it was thrilling and scary all at the same time. Okay, so in Tomorrowland, we have what I call the America Sings building. This has become many different things. It's kind of nothing right now, but the show would be this centerpiece, and the audience theater seats would be on the outside, and this whole outer ring would turn. So you would watch the show in the middle, and when it was time for the next scene, the whole theater would rotate. So that's pretty awesome there. The rocket ride has been moved towards the entrance of Tomorrowland. This was the America the Beautiful show building. They had a 360 movie that you would stand in the middle and you could turn around. There was no seats, but you could see 360 degrees, kind of the original Google car type thing. But because of all the motion, people kept getting very nauseous and they didn't use it very often, or people didn't go in very often. And then here we have a stylized drawing of Space Mountain. And if you get in there really close, it says Spaceport and Rocket Flight Future Attraction. They knew this was going to be a rocket type attraction. They just didn't know what they were going to do with it. And then here is where Star Tours is now. But this was Adventures in Inner Space, where you would go into looked like a doom buggy that they have in the Haunted Mansion, and you would be shrunk to be the size of an atom and be inside a snowflake. And it was really kind of cool because I believed it. Obviously there were, the grown-ups are like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. But as a kid, I was like, we're tiny. What do we do now? And then they would increase your size and then you would go on about your day. And then we've got the train. The train has not changed. You've got the Grand Canyon diorama and you've got the dinosaurs. Those are still there and still quite fun. So if there's anything I've missed or anything that you know that I might not know, please tell me, because I love to find out new things. If I don't find out something new when I go to Disneyland, it's a little bit of a bummer for me because I love to learn something new. And like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. And as always, thanks for the magic, Walt.